episode 18 of the Read Between podcast, the improvised storytelling podcast where we take the internet's weirdest suggestions, turn them into weird, wacky, and crazy stories through the power of improv. I'm one of your co-hosts, Evan.
I'm your other co-host, Lynn.
And welcome to a very ill-timed couch episode of the Read Between podcast. This is a very impromptu, very quick and dirty episode we're putting together today.
Quick and dirty the way I like it.
Yes. So, background, it's been fucking crazy in our lives recently.
Been very busy.
Very busy.
Evan's had a lot of improv things.
Yes. We're recording this on Sunday, April 8th, right? Yeah, yes. Sunday, April 8th. So, yesterday was the Challengers of the Well-Known show that I've been promoting for weeks now. That finally occurred last night. Great show. Everybody loved it. But I am fucking exhausted.
Yeah, and it's not... We didn't have any time this week to record an episode because you were gone every day this week.
Yeah, and last week was Easter, so we didn't have an episode on Monday.
And then this week is going to be pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
You're out all week.
But we wanted to at least get together, record an episode for you. This is going to be a very quick and short episode. We're really not even going to do much editing on this.
Nope, we're sitting on our couch.
We've affixed our microphone to a box.
A storage box.
Our cats are staring at us as much as to say, "What the fuck is going on?"
One of them's cuddling with me.
Oh, that's good. At least
good.
That'll be nice to have.
Got a little kitty over there.
So yeah, this will be going up tomorrow, Monday, April 9th. We're still on track to have our next guest storyteller episode with Dan Marr up next Monday, April 16th. So we'll have his episode ready to go, and then the next guest storyteller episode will be Elizabeth Wiggins, which that will be on Monday, May 7th. So you can look forward to that in the coming weeks. We got some great guests that we got coming up. So a lot of those episodes, they're already done. We're just waiting to edit them. They're super funny. So you can look forward to those. They're going to be a lot of fun. So this week, though, we're going to do just a quick one-story session. Just get it out, get something out to you guys so you can have something to listen to on your Monday morning. Yeah. Something to make you laugh, make you cry. We don't know. Some sort of emotion.
Hopefully not cry, but...
Some sort of emotional reaction.
But we're not going to judge if you do cry.
If you do cry, that's very, very nice of you. Very moving.
Yeah.
Very touching.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We'll just say yeah a lot.
Yeah.
Pad the time out. Yeah.
The end.
The end. So what we decided is we're going to do just one story this week from our Not the Onion subreddit search. And Lynn, if you'd like to go through.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it this week.
No, I changed my mind. Changing the game as we start the episode.
He fought about this over, he was very insistent on doing this about 2 seconds ago. Now I got to pick.
Flip the script.
Fine.
It's improvised. You got to think on the fly.
So, very first one. You did the hot posts?
Yeah, it's just sorted by hot, so.
NASA has a plan to put robot bees on Mars.
Robot bees?
Robot bees.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I guess because I think Mars is one of the planets that very much resembles Earth.
Okay.
So I think maybe like to pollinate things, but also Mars is like hella hot.
It is hella hot.
So I don't know.
I like saying hella. That's a great word.
Hella?
Hella is a great word.
I love that word.
Yeah. Any other good ones you see?
Put down the cheeseburger and surrender. IRS gate crashing suspect arrested.
Oh man, that sounds like an interesting story to tell.
No, that's a little. I'm gonna say it, but I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be one of the choices.
Okay, I'd like to hear it.
Busted. Male victim allegedly beat by boobs.
Oh come on! You don't want to do a story about a man getting beat up by boobs?
Okay, we can add it if you want. I'll say it again.
We can do it in the list.
Okay, fine. I'll say it one more time.
Okay.
So this will be the.
Yes.
Busted. Male victim allegedly beat by boobs.
It's a great headline. Busted. That's really
Busted,
good.
Yeah. Oh, look at that play on words.
Yeah.
I didn't even catch it.
That's a good play on words. I give that writer a lot of credit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and what's one more? Since that one you don't necessarily want to do, but we'll include it in the list.
You just changed the game all up. Okay.
I am. Gotta change the game up sometimes.
Apparently. Just don't tell your co-host about it though, right?
Everything's impromptu in this episode. Everything changes.
Spaniard raised by wolves disappointed with human life.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be disappointed too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're raised by wolves, everything human-wise just seems fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
They use their thumbs? Why?
Yeah.
Why can't I sniff their butt?
They don't eat raw meat? Why? Like, yeah, I can definitely understand that. Okay, so our 4 choices. So the first one...
Okay, so now it's a...
Well, no, you said it was... Well, we were going to include the boobs one on the list, but it probably won't get picked because there were some other ones in there that I liked.
So there was the one about the robot bees.
There was the one about the cheeseburger. Put down the cheeseburger and surrender.
That was, he crashed into IRS gates.
Yes, okay.
Then the boob
fight.
Story.
Yep.
And then...
The Spaniard raised by wolves.
Yes, the Spaniard raised by wolves.
To be honest, I like the cheeseburger one. Put down your cheeseburger and surrender. Because he crashed the gates of the IRS. That's why. So I think we should explore that and see how that whole thing came about.
Okay.
All right. So here's the story of the IRS gate crasher. So Bob Wilson. Mm-hmm. Bob Wilson was a man who didn't really like the government.
Not at all.
Not at all. And especially, he didn't like the idea of paying taxes.
Nope.
He hated taxes.
Mm-hmm.
When he grew up, he was a guy that worked jobs that always paid under the table. You know, you just get paid straight cash. Don't got to worry about any of the taxes or anything like that. He worked as a carpenter. He worked as an electrician.
A lot of times, instead of money, he would just ask for cheeseburgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was a thing too.
Yeah, Bob was a cheeseburger connoisseur. Mm-hmm. Wherever he went, he was always trying a different kind of cheeseburger. So that was, to him, that was sufficient payment. You know, money's good and everything like that. You can use it for all sorts of different things, but his money always ended up somehow going to cheeseburgers in some way. Whether it was cheeseburger, paraphernalia, such as like T-shirts and all that sort of stuff, or, actual cheeseburgers. Mm-hmm. It always ended up going somewhere.
He had one of those cheeseburger phones.
Yes, he did. Made popular from the movie Juno.
Yeah, I forgot that was in Juno.
Yeah, Juno, yeah.
Even his cell phone shaped like a cheeseburger.
Yep, he also had a backup iPhone, but it had one of those big gaudy like plastic cases that was shaped like a cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm. But the cheeseburger cell phone, way cooler.
Yeah, cheeseburger cell phone, way cooler. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he paid Apple a lot of money to make him a phone shaped like a cheeseburger.
Yeah, they call it the burger phone.
Yes.
The B phone.
The B phone, yes. They have the iPhone and then the very special B phone, made only for Bob Wilson.
It prints cheese.
Yes, it does.
You know how like they have the devices that you hook onto your iPhone and you can print pictures?
Yep.
It prints cheese.
Yep. Prints a nice slice of yellow American cheese. You can just throw on top of his burgers.
Slap on his burgers.
Slap it on.
He doesn't when he goes to burger joints now. Doesn't even get their cheese. He's like, hold on one moment. Let me just open up my cheese app.
Yep, it's called Cheese. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he just prints out 2 slices, throws it on top of a hamburger. Saves him some money too.
Yeah, and it leaves the workers impressed.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, the stores will do that on 10 cents between a hamburger and a cheeseburger, so they don't care.
No, they don't care too much.
They don't give a shit.
No.
So, but the thing is, he grew up taking jobs that were under the table, but as he got older and as he went through college and everything like that, he soon realized that the actual working world was very different.
Yeah, and like the economy's a thing, and he can't just take cheeseburgers as payment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when he graduated from college, he got a degree in culinary arts. Go figure. Mm-hmm. And surprisingly, he passed with flying colors, making nothing but cheeseburgers. Mm-hmm. But being in culinary school, you can learn a lot of different things about cheeseburgers and how to make, gourmet cheeseburgers.
Yeah. So
he excelled by making, burgers with Wagyu beef and Kobe beef with all these different kinds of cheeses from all over the world. Mm-hmm. He was a meat and cheese guy, but he loved all meats and cheeses. Mm-hmm. He loved taking different meats and cheeses and turning them into, tasty concoctions.
Oh, heck yeah.
So he began, working as a chef in these restaurants, and he requested to be paid, without taxes. And initially it was fine. It wasn't a problem until he ended up going to this swanky restaurant in Washington, D.C. He lived in Washington, D.C., just outside of the National Mall, and he found this really, really fancy restaurant that, served nothing but gourmet food.
It's called the Berg.
Called the Berg, yes, because it was, it was also outside of Williamsburg, Virginia. which kind of a bit further away from DC, but close enough that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And
they specialized in gourmet burgers.
They did, yes.
So they were called the Berg.
They were called the Berg. And he thought, holy crap, this is my big break. This is what I've been waiting for. I've wanted nothing but to make cheeseburgers for the rest of my life. But when he got there, he soon realized that the only way he was going to be able to take this job was if he was going to get paid where taxes were going to get taken out. He had to get paid that way. There was no other way.
He had to do that W-9.
Yep, he had to do the W-9, the W-4, the I-9, all those different.
I think it's W-4 and I-9.
W-4, I-9, all those.
I think you only need to fill out one, but
stupid.
Who fucking cares? It's taxes.
It's taxes. They suck either way.
You just put 0 on everything. But Bob didn't know that. He didn't know that like if you fill out a W-4, you're supposed to like put 0 on everything. That way you get like a better check at the end in April.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was a little confused by the questions, so he was just like, I'm just gonna put random numbers. There's a 5 for you. There's a 4. Oh, I'm only allowed to go up to 5. Here's a 10.
Yeah. And
he handed it in, and when April came to file the taxes, he owed a lot of money.
And he was actually making a lot of money because he was the most well-respected burger chef that had ever come out of the culinary school around DC. So they were paying him a handsome sum. And he didn't realize how much was getting taken out in taxes. He was getting 75% of his pay taken out just in taxes. But he didn't realize it. You're getting paid $150 an hour to make a burger. You end up making, $30 an hour, $35 an hour just to make cheeseburgers. You don't, really realize that until you actually get the money. And then, like you said, April rolled around. He went to file, and he was amazed at how much he had paid in taxes. He paid over $75,000 in taxes in that prior year. It was absolutely insane, and he just thought to himself, "What did I get myself into? All I wanted to do was make burgers and make money, but I'm getting all this taken away from me." It made no sense to him.
So the only way he thought he could handle it is Google searching IRS. Luckily, he wasn't too far.
Yeah.
Like, about a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll go on my lunch break. I'll bring my burgers with me. Eat my burgers over on the way over to the IRS.
Yep.
And I'm going to talk this out with them. I'm going to see what's up.
Yeah. So he tried to call the IRS and set up an appointment to talk. He wanted to do it the normal way. He wanted to be cordial about it. He was frustrated, but he wanted to figure it out. So he called the IRS during the morning when he had a break from prepping his burgers and everything like that. And when he called, there was no response. He would get an operator and they would try to transfer him, but the line would just end up hanging up. He tried 6 times to call, nothing. So he got kind of frustrated. He wasn't hearing from anybody, so he decided, you know what, fine. I'll just go over, somebody will meet with me, and then I'll be able to go talk to somebody about this. So he grabbed his burgers, got in his car.
Big old bag of burgers.
Big old bag of burgers in his cheeseburger car.
Yes, right.
Yeah, he contracted Ford to make an all-American cheeseburger car.
To get to the gas pedal, you had to like move one of the sesame seeds up and expose the little gas cap.
Expose the little gas cap.
Yeah.
Fill up your little burger car.
His exhaust smelled like delicious burgers.
Like did he put something in it, or was it just
that it was Ford magic? That
Ford,
good old Ford magic.
The good old Ford magic that they only used on one car ever.
Yep.
Same thing with Apple. They put all their technology into one phone that they made once.
Yep.
And they won't ever use again. So
the wheels were actual beef patties.
They were, yes.
Had to get them replaced a lot.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Yeah. USDA prime choice tires. So sidetrack with that. When they make the tires, do they cook the beef or is it raw beef?
I would assume they would cook it, right? That would give it some
that would harden it.
I feel like they would overcook it a little bit just to make it a bit more rubbery.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That they would do that. But you don't want it too well done because you still want there to be some traction, some texture.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want a brick.
You don't want a brick because then you're just fucking everyone's shit up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you need some traction.
Yeah. So he hopped in his cheeseburger car, left the burg, and started driving to the IRS headquarters. And he gets there, and of course at the IRS headquarters there's a gate outside. There's a gatehouse with a security guard. And he goes to the gate and he says, "Hi, yeah, I'm here to just talk about something I got going on with my financial things." He's like, "Do you have an appointment?" And Bob says, "No, I tried to call, but nobody answered." And the security guard says, "Well, I can't let you in. You don't have an appointment. So come back when you have an appointment."
So Bob was sad, to say the least. He was now facing what could potentially be, some financial trouble. So he goes, "Okay, fine." And he starts getting ready to leave. And of course, he has to back out to leave. But in the middle of him, getting ready, he grabs a burger and he starts, munching while he starts driving. And he forgets to put his car in reverse. And crash right through the gate.
Right through the gate. Because once he starts eating, when he eats a burger, he gets into it.
It's like mouth sex.
It is.
It is just burger on mouth. You can make a porno and make lots of money. He's done it.
That really? Huh.
Patties and penises.
Oh dear Lord! Oh my God!
That's what they're all called. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Went up to 10.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How much did he make off of those?
Just too much. That was another reason why he was like $75,000 in debt.
Well, and that's why he didn't really notice when he was getting all that money taken out, because he was making so much money.
He was making all that patty and penis
from the food porn.
Yeah.
He literally created food porn. Oh my God, that's.
Yeah, he was a genius.
Oh God. I can't not laugh at that. That's so silly. So, but when he crashed through the gate, his car was destroyed. He had nowhere to go. But his burgers, of course, his bag of burgers was still intact. So he grabs his bag of burgers and he just gets out of his destroyed car and just starts walking into the headquarters.
And meanwhile, the security guard is pissed. Bob could have very much killed the security guard by accident. So the security guard gets his it's not a gun, it's like one of the taser guns, he gets his taser gun. He has one hand on his hip and he starts running after Bob. "Freeze! You with the burger, put it down! Put down the burger right now!"
And Bob yells back, "Look, I gotta go talk to somebody. I need to figure out my money situation. I've been trying to get a hold of this for months." And so the security guard goes to shoot Bob with the taser gun, but Bob holds up his bag to block the taser shot, and his burgers just end up getting shocked. They just get burnt to a crisp because of all the high voltage.
And now Bob's pissed.
Yeah.
These were 5 perfectly good burgers, and he only ate half of one, and this man decided to ruin his burger time.
Yeah. So...
Nobody ruins burger time.
Nobody ruins burger time. So Bob runs inside. He runs inside the IRS headquarters, and he immediately runs inside. He starts looking for somewhere to send him guidance to where to go, and he sees a sign. Points like, "Oh, main office is this way, bathrooms this way, food court down to the right." He immediately says, "All right, it's burger time. Let's do this." So he runs inside, runs to the food court, and he sees in the IRS headquarters there's a giant burger bar. Build your own burger bar. With all different kinds of meats.
Perfect.
Cheeses.
Oh my God.
Condiments.
Hell yeah.
Buns.
Keep going.
Everything.
Ah!
Everything. You can make your own burger with anything you want.
Great.
So Bob, in his infinite wisdom, decides, you know what? They're going to take away my burgers. I'm going to give them right back. So Bob just starts building all of these burgers, different condiments, different everything, to plan his attack against the IRS in the city of Washington.
Meanwhile, you could hear footsteps down the hall. You could hear just marching and loud clanking noises. It was the security guard somehow got a SWAT team over real fast. And they all poured into the cafeteria, and those who were in the cafeteria wasn't a lot, but those who were in there were confused and were like, "We're gonna get the fuck out of here now." And as soon as they come in and they see the tower of burgers behind Bob, Bob just goes, "How do you like these buns?" And just starts fucking wailing them with burgers.
Now the thing with Bob is, when he was a child, he played baseball.
Yeah.
He was a pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a rocket of an arm.
Heck yeah.
When he was 13, he was throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs.
I believe it.
Which he was a prodigy. And unfortunately, he had to have Tommy John surgery when he was like 16 in high school. So his playing career ended super early.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you throw and you know how to throw, you don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was throwing laser burgers at these SWAT guys.
They were like exploding.
They were exploding, yeah, just because the sheer force would just hit them like a bullet, and it was just knocking them down one by one. And the SWAT team didn't know what to do. They came in with weapons drawn, and they ended up all just being taken down within a matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. And Bob was he was furious, and he was exhausted from throwing all these burgers. He's standing behind the bar, and he yells out, "Look! I didn't want it to end this way, but all I wanted was to just figure out why my taxes are so goddamn high. Can somebody tell me this? Can somebody just tell me why? I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's an intern, an old person, somebody. Just tell me what's going on." And there was somebody in the cafeteria. It was this new 22-year-old person working at the IRS. Mm-hmm. This young tax analyst named Charlotte. Mm-hmm. She got up. She walked over to Bob and said, I can help you, sir. I can help you figure this out. Just stop throwing the burgers. You're gonna cause more damage." He's like, "No, you're not getting it. The money has caused this damage, not the burgers. My money."
And she comes over. She slowly approaches Bob because Bob right now is in a very manic state.
As he's yelling at her, he's holding two
burgers ready to throw. And she takes one step and he he winds up and then she holds up her hands to show that I'm no threat.
I'm cool.
She takes another step. He relaxes a little bit. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, she's walking over to him. She puts her hands on his shoulder, and he drops his burgers and she goes, "We'll figure this out. I can't. This is the IRS. We asked for money. You're gonna give us money. We're the government, but we'll figure this out, okay?"
So they go over to one of the tables in the food court. The SWAT team is still just kind of sitting off to the side, just like trying to gather themselves and compose themselves because they all look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Mm-hmm. The fact that they got taken out by a bunch of burgers.
Yeah.
So Charlotte and Bob go over to a table. Bob brought his W-4 and I-9 with him because he figured that would be a good thing to show.
Mm-hmm. She then went, "Why do you fill out both a W-4 and an I-9?
And he's like, "Well, that's what I thought I was supposed to do." And then
she was like, "No, your HR person should have probably only given you one."
Yeah, and then he looks at she looks at the W-4 and she's like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck are all these numbers for? You don't fill it out this way." He's like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Are you married?" He's like, "No." "Do you have any kids?" "No."
"Do you live with anyone? Or do you have anyone that's a dependent?"
"No." She's like, "Then why did you put like 27 as all of your deductions here?" He's like, "I don't know. Nobody told me how to fill it out." She's like, "That's why you're getting so much money taken out.
Yeah.
You're having the maximum amount taken out. You're having the amount of taxes taken out that somebody that makes $1 billion would." And he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is all it was? I just could have put zeros and none of this would have happened?"
She went, "Yeah, pretty much."
He said, "God damn it. Oh. Now I just did all this for nothing. I wasted all these beautiful burgers and all for nothing."
Charlotte, who had she had one of the burgers on a plate next to her. Mm-hmm. She slides the plate over to Bob and goes, "Bob, it's not too late to turn around.
It's not too late to have a burger be a positive thing today."
Yeah.
And so he grabs the burger, he stares at it longingly, goes to put it in his mouth, takes a bite.
Mm-hmm.
He sits there for a moment, admiring the bite, chewing it very slowly, almost seductively, as if he was filming one of his burger porn videos. And then
patties and penises.
Thank you for the reminder
You're
of that.
welcome.
Thank you for the reminder of that title.
Yeah.
So he finishes his bite. He swallows it. And he thinks to himself, none of this was worth it. All I wanted is just to make burgers. And I ended up making a mess out of everything else.
And Charlotte hands him another spatula and goes, well, let's turn this mess into something beautiful. Then you do owe us like $75,000, but we'll put you on a payment plan and get this sorted out, okay?
We'll just wage garnish everything you make from working here at the IRS.
We'll just deduct it from your next tax.
Your next 500 paychecks.
Yeah, your next tax breaks. We'll just deduct it from that.
Yeah. And so Bob put on an apron and started working in the food court at the IRS, where he still works today to pay off his debts to the IRS. But he makes the best damn burgers in Washington, D.C., right in the basement of the IRS building.
And that's also the plot to Patties and Penises 11. Fuck the IRS, literally.
The end?
The end.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Well, for a short episode...
I think that was good. I got a couple chuckles out of that.
That was a good story. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good, silly one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always down to clown about food.
Hey, I'm down to clown, period.
Hey, there you go. You
Yeah.
should go to clown college then.
Oh.
If you're down to clown.
No.
Well, okay.
I don't wanna.
You don't want to clown that bad?
No, I don't like the big shoes. I'll just trip. I got tiny legs.
What about the red nose? Gosh, you're so weird. Well, yeah,
I'm the genius who helped Bob figure out patties and penises.
That's
so who's
true.
laughing now?
That's true. That is true. You should get a cut of that.
Still waiting, Bob.
Still waiting. Well, folks, thank you for tuning in this week to this short impromptu episode. This has been a fun one to just sit and just come up with this little silly story for you.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're going to have a full episode next week with Dan Marr, our good buddy Dan Marr.
And it's a long one, too.
It's a long one, yeah. So it'll definitely make up for the fact that we have a about 30-minute episode this week for sure. So make sure you come back next Monday, April 16th, and we'll be sure to have a full, amazing guest storyteller episode with our good buddy Dan Marr. So as far as us, Lynn, you want to plug your social and let people know where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at AnnLynn, AYNNELNN. Whatever I do on the internet, I do there. Nostalgia Cops is out now, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the current episode. Right. Nostalgia Cops is out. Go listen to it. Just go on any podcast app that you have. And just search for Nostalgia Cops, 2 words.
Yep.
And it'll pop up. Our first episode was of Dexter's Laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun to record, and I'm really excited to be doing that little small project.
Yes.
So please go listen to Nostalgia Cops.
Yes.
What else?
We're working to get this show on Spotify now, right?
Right, that was what I was going to talk about. I did submit to Spotify for the show. I don't know when we're going to hear back. I haven't checked the email in about a week. But I think it's about a 2-week time period they did give us. Spotify is really weird. You have to have a certain network to apply to, and if you have multiple networks, then you have to start paying, and it's one of those things where you can submit your podcast, but the likelihood of it getting on is kind of low.
Kind of slim, yeah.
But hopefully we'll ruffle their feathers. I can't speak. Ruffle their feathers and get on there.
Yeah, reach some new audiences, get some new people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
How about you, Evan?
So you can find me on Twitter at E_Williamson93. Whatever I do on Twitter, I post there. Mainly post a lot of GIFs, because GIFs are fun. GIFs are cool. GIFs are fun to look at.
He's trying to stay hip with the kids.
Yes. How do you do, fellow children? As Steve Buscemi walks by with a backwards cap and a skateboard.
Yeah, right there, that's a GIF.
That's a GIF. That is a GIF. I speak in nothing but GIFs too. So.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can find me there. You can reach out to me there if you have any questions about the show or want to just yell at me.
Got any shows coming up?
Yes. So this Saturday, April 14th. I'm going to be performing as part of the Improv Comedy Power Hour at Steel Stacks, which is every second and fourth Saturday. at 10:30 p.m. at Steel Stacks. So if you're
Tuesday is Bar Brawl.
Yes, this Tuesday, April 10th, is Improv Comedy Bar Brawl in Allentown, Pennsylvania at the Allentown Brew Works. That's at 8 p.m. So if you're in the Allentown or Bethlehem area this week, I've got a couple shows. Oh, and also, Best of Facebook is this coming Thursday, April 12th at Steel Stacks at 8:30 p.m.
That's why you're not around
That's why I'm not around this week. Because I'm doing
shows
and making an ass out of myself almost every night this week.
It's true.
So yeah, if you're in the Allentown or Bethlehem area, come check those out. And if you want more information on comedy in the area, go to www.steelstacks.org/comedy. You're bound to find a lot of it there. As far as Read Between, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at readbetweencast. We're almost at 100 followers on Instagram.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we're almost at 100 followers.
I'm on that Instagram page like almost every day,
Yeah.
just posting. Well, not posting, but mostly like liking stuff and following other podcasts. But I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we're almost at 100 followers on Instagram, so that's fucking awesome.
That's
so
great.
Thank you to those who have been following the show and listening. You can find the show on YouTube, on Pinecast, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play, and pretty much wherever you find podcasts, you can find us there. Yeah. So, as Lynn said, we're trying to get on Spotify with this show, so keep posted to our Twitter page to find out when we eventually, hopefully, we'll get on Spotify. And if you have any comments, anything you want to tell us about the show, any suggestions you have for a future episode, feel free to hit us up at our email address, which is readbetweencast@gmail.com. We'll be happy to take any submissions you have, any questions you have, any comments, feedback, anything like that. We want to hear from you there. So I think that's going to do it for us this week. Mm-hmm. It's going to do it for our little impromptu couch sesh episode of Read Between. So thank you again for tuning in. We will see you guys next week for our next guest storyteller episode with Dan Marr. Look forward to that. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. See ya.
Bye.